film called Jolene, based on a short story by E.L. Doctorow. Now, E.L. Doctorow, of course, legend giant of the literary world. And this is from a collection of short stories. This movie's been made for about 2 years, directed by Dan Ireland, who did The Whole Wide World, which is the film that broke Renee Zellweger through, and Mrs. Palfrey at the Claremont, which is just a really charming film from a few years ago. And Dan Ireland made this from about 2 years ago. It has gone through hell to get to the screen, but is finally opening up in a number of cities, Los Angeles being one of them. And let's look a little bit from the movie.
I came from a series of foster homes where my so-called daddies would end up fooling with me. I had saved almost $100, just enough money to get me out of the town and out of the state of South Carolina forever. I was just 17, but I carried myself like I was 10 years older. But I did have to take a deep breath on occasion and sell it once or twice across the country. So I married Mickey.
Are you happy, baby?
Oh, sure I am, Mickey.
Welcome to the family, Pumpkin.
Uncle Phil was always trying to show off around me.
That is Jessica Chastain in the title role of Jolene. Jessica Chastain, amazing find. Incredible actress, what she does in this film. This is another find for Dan Ireland, much like Renee Zellweger was in The Whole Wide World. It's basically the story of a woman who is in the 70s in North Carolina, is married off at 16, and from there spirals through these tragic episodes from one guy to another, from one city to another. Her life just sort of on a runaway train, and it is about how she's sort of used and abused by all of those who pretend to love her, but how she's always looking for some kind of control in her life. It's an intimate story that becomes an epic story, incredibly well done, and a lot of Oscar potential here if enough people get a look at it, especially Jessica Chastain, but a great supporting cast here. Chazz Palminteri, you saw Dermot Mulroney there, Rupert Friend, who was previously in Mrs. Palfrey at the Claremont, Michael Vartan, Denise Richards, Teresa Russell. I mean, this is an amazing cast that Dan Ireland put together. Earlier today, I had a chance to sit down with Dan Ireland. His premiere is going on as we speak. As we speak, the premiere for this movie is happening, but Dan Ireland came here into our studio earlier on his way to the premiere to talk to us at Stupid for Movies. Here's a little tease. The complete interview will be on YouTube later, but here's a little look at my interview with Dan Ireland.
It really came together. I mean, I think we all had a vision of it, and one of the things that I think Riva Yares, our producer, liked that I brought up is I said, this is like 5 separate paintings. And one of the things that I was always intrigued by in my life is at the end of Fellini's Satyricon, after seeing this collage of this young man's life and going through it, and it was very episodic, and you saw the ruins, and you saw all the pictures at the very end of, you know, the journeys of the young man's life, and it hit me how to make the film. And I wanted to do it as really 5 different episodes that connected into this girl's life and the trajectory that she has along the way. And especially, this is a child of abuse. I mean, yeah. And when you look into the eyes of a child, you know, who's been abused at 12 years old, you see something very, very different. And I thought, trying to find the soul of this girl and to see how she thinks. And with Jessica, you know, I always love to hire an actor that will show you something about the character that it's not on the page. And it happened with Renee Zellweger. And in both cases, they both showed me something about the character that I didn't know. And with Jessica, it was her heart. And it was always, that was sort of the thing that kept Jolene going, yeah. Is her belief in, you know, in finding, you know, this life for herself where she could believe. But, you know, her big mistake is that she keeps falling, mm-hmm. and she keeps falling in the same rut. But it's different, and every rut is different, yeah. And everybody promises her the world, and yet no one delivers. So you know, and at the end of the film, we leave her there, you know, I think with a semblance of hope.
You do.
Well, I wanted to put her, that whole metaphor, putting her right in front of Fredericks of Hollywood.
So that complete interview will be on YouTube later, but we are so grateful to Dan Ireland for coming in here on his way to the premiere to talk to us. Delightful guy, talented director, and just a real trooper. You know, he fights for these little movies to get them made. He puts his passion into them, and it really shows here. E.L. Doctorow, by the way, totally approves of the movie, gave it his blessing, and was not as you'll find out in the interview, was not completely on board originally, but they won him over.
You know, people think that movies spontaneously happen. You know, they just show up. You show up to the multiplex, ask for a ticket for 2, and then you go to the movie.
Battle.
It is unlike Megamind, which is like not a battle to get made.
Yeah.
Most films are like Jolene.
Yeah.
They take years,
Yeah.
and it is painful, and you're not making money while you're doing it. So kudos to him.
Kudos.
To getting,
a real warrior.
for getting any movie made, let alone a movie that's good.
And for fighting for it for 2 years to get it finally released. So it's a great story, and it's all in the interview.
Watch the rest of the interviews. YouTube.com/streaminggarage.
There you go.
Stop going to Stupid for Movies.
What?
YouTube.com/stupidformovies. People still keep going there and subscribing.